I'm Tyler Souters, and you're watching Clean Skies News. There is a new entrant into the energy-water nexus discussion, a device that its manufacturer promises will create water out of thin air. Joining us now from Miami is Henri-James Tieleman. He is the CEO of that company, EcoloBlue. And Henri-James, thanks for being with us today.
No, thank you. I think it's a very nice opportunity that you are giving me and my company to actually try to explain a little bit more thoroughly what we do.
Well, let's dive right in. Is it safe to say that what you're doing is essentially condensing water just on a very large scale?
Yes, indeed. We have around our environment in the house and outside what we call humidity, moisture. And basically with the machines that we manufacture, we can extract that moisture and filter it and be able to drink it.
What makes this any different from a huge dehumidifier? As you said, a number of basements, especially here on the East Coast, deal with this kind of technology regularly. So what's the breakthrough here?
Right, you're very correct. A dehumidifier, or at least its process, has been in the market for over 40 years. Nevertheless, if you would drink, and I would seriously not recommend to drink any dehumidifier water, this is where we come in. That is with very sophisticated filtration system and implementing also air conditioning processes so that you can have hot and cold drinkable water.
How well does this perform in some very low humidity atmospheres? I think of places like Africa or maybe parts of desert climates where water is in such scarce supply, yet even the water in the air seems difficult to get to.
Yes, that is correct. But nevertheless, in most of the world, at any point in time, you have a certain amount of humidity that is giving us an opportunity to extract that specific moisture and allow people anywhere in the world to drink that kind of water. Mm-hmm. In essence, it's simply that the nature is not allowing to make it rain. And so we are taking away basically the existent rain that is not taking place. Mm-hmm. In a very small scale, obviously, but allowing a lot of people to be able to have access to potable water.
One advantage that you have regarding hot to dry climates and performance here is the fact that you're using solar panels to provide a portion of the power necessary, and you're also trying to work on hydrogen as a source, which seems to go hand in hand with collecting water, since the emission source would be water as well, correct?
Yes, that was probably the most important problem that we faced when we completed the home office or the industrial machine to do really what it was supposed to do, that is giving potable water. The energy is a requirement. We need energy, we need electricity of some kind to run these machines. So last year, that was basically our main focus, is to reduce the energy consumption to a bare minimum. When we started 3 years ago, we had a machine that was consuming, at least the home office, about 500 watts an hour. If you would take solar panels, we would have, and this is what we're offering, 300 watts panels to run this machine. With the research and development that we have done recently, we have managed to reduce this consumption to only one 300 watt solar panel. That is a reduction, of course, of investment for anyone who would like to buy such an application, but it also allows to have a simple application with a simple energy source, which is solar, to run these machines. Now, the hydrogen power is also a very interesting concept in the aspect that hydrogen is run by water. And the hydrogen machine that we have in place with the company that we're working with only needs 20 watts, or let's say 10 to 20 watts to run that, to start up this hydrogen power machine. The hydrogen power machine is actually run and function with water. So we have a plumbing system that would get the water from the water generator into the hydrogen power machine and into getting energy for generating the water generator. Mm-hmm. It seems somewhat complicated. Hydrogen power is still a very in its infancy. It's not quite ready. We're expecting some results of the testing sometime next week. Mm-hmm. And if this works, that really would be an amazing solution.
Final question. I'm curious about your partnership with China. The U.S. government has made very public statements, including through Energy Secretary Stephen Chu, regarding clean energy partnerships with that country. But there have been reports, especially recently, about private sector difficulties, that is, U.S. companies having serious headaches trying to operate in China. Have you run into similar roadblocks yet?
Well, I think operating in China requires to understand the Chinese culture. We have a registered company in China which allows us to work extremely easily in China. And I think that a lot of American companies who are starting up in this industry, let's say the energy industry, needs to learn a little bit more about the Chinese culture. It's a very different culture. And they have their way of operating, they have their way of doing business. And if you don't understand it, you're gonna run into issues, or maybe culture issues, which would be the same for Chinese trying to do business in America. It goes both ways. I've been living in China for 2 years, and I find doing business in China very easily. We have a few engineers working with us. We have, of course, a certain amount of labor force working with us, and the relationship is actually very nice. And we do discuss very often, actually, this culture clash between either Europeans or Americans working in China. And again, it's really to understand, to work with different cultures, especially if American companies are going to China.
The company is EcoloBlue. The CEO joining us from Miami, Henri-James Tieleman. Thank you again for giving us your time today.
Thank you very much.
It's our pleasure, and thank you as well for joining us. I'm Tyler Suiters. You're watching Clean Skies News.